Okay, welcome back. Probably just a quick stream tonight. Just joining my party, so the audio should be a little bit better. Okay, so we are currently progressing through, what is this area called? Irythill of the Boreal Valley. It's been pretty good so far. Beat the mini-boss on the bridge. Got through the first stretch. Wasn't too hard. The enemies are pretty intense, but fighting them one-on-one isn't bad. And even if you have to fight them two-on-one, as long as one of them is a shield guy, he's not quite as aggro. You can kind of kite the dual blade guy out or the single blade guy out and fight him alone, and they die pretty quick. Decent amount of damage here. So before we continue, I want to take stock of my upgrade materials. Okay, so we have one large titanite shard, and I think we're currently sitting on a +5 weapon. Yeah, +5. So we'll need 5 more of those. So we've reached this church. Haven't really explored anything else other than this, but we know there's a few paths. Mysterious room with nothing. There's an upstairs bit. Okay, so it looks like there's maybe a drop down from a future area. Haven't found too many illusory walls yet. In fact, I think it's only been one. Okay, so I know that we have a shit ton of souls, so I'm gonna head back to Firelink and spend some of this. Not sure what we'll spend it on, but you know, we'll get some stuff. I might actually look for some better bolts in my crossbow. Pulling enemies in soul level 1 is pretty critical, just to break up the being outnumbered, split enemies up. May as well do a bit of damage. We'll send you to pillage, but hopefully I can purchase a bit before that. So no interesting upgrade materials, but here we go. Standard bolt, heavy bolt, sniper bolt. I think we can most probably use these. Yeah, we'll just dump it all into that. See how we go. So let's actually put that on. Looks like it kind of. No, it doesn't. So let's go. Sniper bolt. Okay, so it does look like it's going to let us fire them. We'll just keep them equipped. I'm not leaning on the bow for DPS, but every little bit of chip damage I can do is going to be worth it. So let's head back here. Church of Yorkshire. What is this actually called? Church of Yorkshire. Okay. So, that led nowhere. That's back where we came. That is downward, which is the likely progression. But let's explore this, because there is a drop down, and there is also a pretty major level looking here. We have a couple of those knights. Looks like they're heading down. The knights are incredibly powerful. Their magic swipe is a one-shot on me, so I don't want to mess with them if I can avoid it. If they're patrolling, it might turn out that we do have to fight them properly. because there looks like there's plenty of stuff in here for us to do. And my strategy is going to be to draw some of this stuff out. So these guys have some pretty intense... Looks like they've aggroed all together. Let's see if I can pull this thing out quicker. Fight it in this little opening courtyard. Pretty straightforward moveset to mess around with. Drawing the aggro of both of these guys is a bit unfortunate. The Pyromancer does a pretty intense amount of zoning. Kind of curious to see exactly what's happening here. It looks like that knight has decided to disengage completely and walk off into the distance. In fact, this straight up just looks like a patrol. So that's fine for the sake of exploration. Ooh. So it doesn't look like it's a very big patrol. Getting him was desperately annoying. Burning a bit of Estus here, that I think is a bit unnecessary if I fight these guys properly. Unfortunately, the shield guy's desire to aggro is not that extreme. Ooh, bit unlucky there. I thought he was going for his kind of Gravelord Nido style attack, but no. So I think we'll end up doing something similar here. Bit unfortunate dying there. But what can you do? Certainly the prettiest place in the game so far, without question. So these guys have a really impressive amount of aggro. Very doable to avoid that attack. And this shield guy is probably just going to be an enormous pain in the ass. Okay, here we go. So I need to be very aware. I'm gonna actually disengage from this guy. See if I can get him to follow me. Because the patrolling lads are coming back. and I don't really want to mess with that. So yeah, pretty happy to exercise a bit of caution here. From what I could see, there's nothing nasty coming. They must not patrol up too far. That would have been a pretty premium time to attack this guy, unfortunately. Okay, so I'll disengage a bit. I did catch a glimpse of the other two patrollers. Take that opportunity to see what their behavior actually is. Interesting. Feel as though I don't quite understand what is happening down there. Ooh, he's leaving. Actually, he doesn't leave, does he? Pontiff gauntlets. Okay. So that certainly looks like a bonfire style shortcut. Interesting. Is this the guy that starts in here? I don't love this guy's position. Very lucky there. Had just enough strafe time. Just enough time to recover my stamina. To back well out of there. But good to know that potentially there is a pyromancer on my left that I have to deal with. Bit of a gratuitous little courtyard here, from what it seems. It is indicating to me that this is a level, an area, which of course we know it is because that's where the shortcut looking thing is, I believe. So I won't head up there just yet. I favour this side passage. Hear some chittering in the background. Very glad that this area doesn't seem to be too dense in enemies. And for what it gives you... Oh. Well. Colour me thoroughly surprised. Ah, yes, of course. I did come this way, and I did notice the pyromancer down there, so I believe he'll be a permanent fixture. I can't see around this corner, so I'm going to have to be happy drawing him out into this more open courtyard, if I can. I do not want to fight any of these guys without the appropriate space to do so. Unfortunately, the AI has done me dirty here. Almost got the backstab there. So I'll just be patient with my positioning. That is a one-shot. Being in front of these guys is a tragedy. It is absolutely, you know, not recommended. Okay. Fortunately, they do tend to favor that ranged attack. Ooh. Does not open from this side. Very strange animation there. They seem to both disappear. Fascinating. Lightning gem. So these guys do not seem... The guys that start up here don't appear... This does not appear to be a shortcut. Okay. Yeah, all the enemies in this level so far do not like you being behind them. Which is nice. That's quite tasty. Ooh. Magic clutch ring. So I believe that is the ring that will improve my magic attack. So that does look like an item up there. It looks like some of this level is going to be a bit of a puzzle. At the moment, there is no conceivable way of getting that item. Even from above. Oh, actually, yeah, from above it looks like you'll be able to... Ooh. Unless that's a railing. Are there stairs up to that little platform there? Not sure. But yeah, you know, potentially staircase that kind of opens up here, but doesn't really look like it. See, I'm thinking that this will be a shortcut to whatever's behind that bonfire. So that's good. It looks like that this little level... Hard to say, hard to say. There's no way to drop down from here, is there? Oh, looks like that fall would kill you anyway. Yeah, it looks like this bonfire is going to lead to, you know, up there once we open some of these doors. Something glimmering up there. I'm keen to find out what that is. Not like we have much of a choice. But that's okay. If I can stay away from this in this area, I don't need to engage with any of that nonsense up there. I mean, come on. Okay, how are we going? Positioning here. Looks like I'm safe. Oh, Titanite lizard. Bristle lizard. I can't really tell. No, I haven't been down there, otherwise I would have picked up that item. Enemy down there. Just waiting for these guys to bugger off. Any fights I can avoid will be good. We've already pounded everything on the way up here. So I'll just take my proper time to explore. So, on the note of exploration, I could have sworn there was a drop-off somewhere that was accessible to me. Oh, actually, I know where we're going. So I will rest at the bonfire. I'm convinced there's nothing else here. Or actually, maybe I won't rest at the bonfire just yet. And I'll just have a poke, a little prod down, expecting to copper death. This stairway here. Because what it looks like is this is going to take us all the way around underneath where we just came from, and then back up. Classic church fantasy graveyard. Bit of an interesting path there. Looks like a door. Maybe not. Certainly looks like a critical path. Kind of feels like I'm moving in the direction of where we first came. So I will pull out my shield here to deal with this thing. Oh, the kick there is unfortunate. Yeah, okay. Wow, I'm back. That's okay, there was only one enemy on the way to these dogs. What I'll do, kind of got caught off guard there, I need to equip my club, my regular club. That will allow me to fight with my shield. Cool. Yes, the other club there was a reinforced club, I was doing very little damage. So I'll poke down this path, see where it leads. Get my souls back. Ooh, so where are you? Here you go. Definitely feeling the difference in power. So there is a second one and a third one. These guys look like they have human skulls for faces. I don't really like advancing on them. They get thrown back too far. Discussed that at length previously. So little throwing knives. Little sleeping doggy, unfortunately. Just not his day. Come on. Rusted gold coin. Not 100% sure what the rusted gold coin does. Yeah. But that was a good little area, little bonus area. I don't know if it... Oh, yeah, it continues to poke down. That was good. Signals to us that dogs are on the menu in this area. Really curious to learn what all that is. They remind me a lot of the humanity sprites from Dark Souls 1. Before going down there, I will head back up and check what that little graveyard was all about just outside of the church. I want to see if this is a split path. I don't think so. It kind of looked like it dropped away to nothing. Ooh. Ah, okay. So that's why these guys just turned invisible on me. Very, very nicely hidden. Yeah, looks like there's a bit more to explore. Fading soul. Ooh. That was a bird. Bit of an Easter egg enemy. Undead bone shard. Okay, so that's going to be burned at a bonfire, I think. Make my Estus stronger. Not that I need it at this stage, because my Estus is healing at max. Heals me all the way up to 100%. If I find items that increase my health, that'll come in handy. But yeah, getting that 100% heal is really quite nice. So it's looking like we need to proceed down into this cellar. We do have the information now that these things are the basic mob enemies of this area. Don't really want to equip this, but it's looking like it's going to be necessary. Really don't know how much I want to just fight everything in here. Oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. Really curious effect there. I'm thinking that I really won't push it with those enemies. That looks like far too much zoning than I can handle. It'd be great to be able to buy large Titanite so I can get everything up to +6. It'll help a great deal. Being able to move between different weapons. Yeah, I do appreciate this enemy design. This area seems especially dense with them. They don't seem super fast or aggro, which is nice. I think there's one behind me. Feels like there's something here. Yeah. Fascinating mechanic. I actually, Ooh, jeez. Cool. I don't mind it. I'm thinking I'm going to push up that ladder. Just so I can explore the area in a bit more safety. I don't really want to push into that mass just yet. I want to see where this takes me. Determine if it's a optional path or a critical path. And then, based on that information, I can be a bit aggressive into the mass. You know, just knowing the exact main direction of travel will give me the confidence to push into that mass here. But for the moment, I don't really want to have to deal with it. I also want to determine if there are any options for me to light braziers. So I am being followed, I am being shot at now. Curious to see what that's all about. Okay, does look like there's a stairway up there. I am liking that actually. I think that's cool because this is giving me an option to skip that big mass, which I think I will take at this stage. Okay, so that's not a mimic. Yoshka's spear. So that's cool. Let's have a read of that because that was the Church of Yoshka. Okay, so let's look at all the spears. Oop. Thought we were being attacked. It was just the fire. Wow, that's a really... I'm interested to see how that translates into actual play. A hammer and a spear, so you get thrusting option and strike option, which is a you know, nice combination. So yeah, it looks like we're behind that mass. I'm pretty confident that I am going to die again. So I'll just have to note that there's an item in that little alcove. Awesome. So yeah, now we're going underneath that level. Enemies are taking you by surprise a bit. I think they can, you know, I don't know if it was a little bit of a bug or what, but it did look like they can disappear entirely. Oh. So the crystal lizards are consistently dropping twinkling titanite, which is interesting. I can't see what that is. I'm hoping it was just the mob enemy. It sounded a bit more serious. Might just check to see that none of these other little alcoves are illusory walls. Nice, okay. Yet to discover what made that noise, precisely. I can hear chains, which so far I haven't really... Oh, actually they are wearing chains. Blood gem. More blood gem. Cool. So it looks like we're going down into the water. The wet and sort of watered areas of this game so far have been treacherous, to say the least. Looks like this is going to be no different. Some giant bones there. Wow. That was an impressive enemy. It says they're just gonna litter these things as red herrings for me, are they? It's a bit rough. I'm hoping that they're always indicated. This is nice actually. I don't remember you being able to do this in Pharaon Keep Swamp. This little running animation. So I'm going to take that. I assume that the... Ooh, a slug person. These were in the... It's a dead slug person at that. Ooh, bit of reach there. Okay. Lucky to get out of there, I reckon, but not a massively difficult enemy, but aesthetically, you know, I think that's going to have to be one I take note of. It's it's a top pick so far, I reckon. Quite cool. And they are signaled by their raised bodies, which is nice. So what I'll do, I'm going to get this item and then I'm going to kind of take stock of what we have here, because we're going to get a bit of a view of where we've been before. So let's go back over here. I want to see if we can spot that church with the fog gate. I reckon that's it there, that Hogwarts style looking building. Then again, that could be it as well. Yeah, that kind of, it looks like that's it there, the lit up one. I could be wrong about that, but we'll see. So there's a couple of paths here underneath the bridge, or this little surely unempty stretch. Lots of green blossoms. I do like it when there are consistently placed items, you know, it's kind of telling you something about the world. Let's actually have a read of the green blossom, see if we can discern why they might actually be here. Annual plant near water. Okay, yes, that's nice. Those little details are quite cool. You know, the fact that you'd find them naturally out in the world. You know, usually on a kind of meta sensitive, say a meta focus, a mechanical meta focus playthrough, you're more interested in the effect than the than the lore. But finding those in a water area and having it in their description that they would be found near water areas is quite nice. As obvious as that might sound. What comes to mind are the Nern roots in Oblivion and Skyrim. Okay, so let me have a look at what this was called. Distant Manor. Okay, so it looks like this is a deviation from the main path. Could be wrong, but keen to check it out, but we also have this other path here. And I'm really keen to link up these paths. So this certainly looks dangerous to me. Okay, so there's stuff already aggroed. Here we go. Must have only been a couple of frames there. Could eat my words, but those enemies aren't posing us much trouble. There we go. Nice. Nice and safe just behind them. They don't seem to want to turn on a dime. Their attack sequence is super slow. The riskiest thing I'm doing here is going in for the quick R1, the running R1. When that's a far more less exciting but inarguably less dangerous strat. So this is cool as well. We are seeing a lot of the same item, the dung piles, excrement covered ashes. That's interesting. So ashes are given to NPCs in Firelink, so I'm keen to see who I give that to and what they want to give me for it. I think there was an item. Okay, so it looks like there's a staircase there. I thought there was an item. There's a glint off of the ceilings here and throwing me off a bit. Estus soup? Yes. Wonder if I'll find a sunlight metal here, if that's what they're called. Okay. Silver Knight or Black Knight? If it is a Black Knight, I will have to be very careful. It's also not one I've fought yet. Wouldn't be an NPC, would it? I mean, it's got all its shit drawn. Definitely not a Black Knight. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like a Silver Knight. I'm definitely not keen to fight him in that arena. This arena looks fine though. Very similar strategy to the large Titanite shard. Wonder if that's a consistent drop. Very similar strategy I used to defeat the Dark Wraiths, but I think the Dark Wraiths have these guys hands down. I suspect these fellows do a bit more damage than the Dark Wraiths, but the Dark Wraith moveset is pretty heinous. These guys seem a little slower. Didn't take the kind liberty of being hit by one. Ooh, jeez, okay. Was I, that, not, I mean, I've been hit by something, obviously, but that was a surprise. Bit of a shame having to heal there. 8 Estus going into a new area is nice and tasty, but what can you do? Haven't seen one of the... Ooh, shit. Damn. Great enemy, I think. Really decent at throwing a bit of a spanner in the works for you. Very fast, very difficult to manage moveset. Actually, whoops. Just realized this is not the way I wanted to go. Okay, well, rip souls, but what can you do? Not like I was going to spend him anyway. Okay. So this might be a longer stream tonight. I probably will wrap up soonish. I do want to see if I can loop back up to the Yorshka bonfire. I will make a run and ignore all this crap in here. To the extent that I can. We'll be wary of how far they follow me up. Looks like they're not gonna. And we'll have another go at the Silver Knight. Non-respawnable. Interesting. That's fascinating. Oh hey, it's the lady from Dark Souls 1. Nice. Non-respawnable. That's really odd. Black Knights respawn in this game. Now, this game usually favors the low ground. Interesting that the other died with 2 hits. I have no reasonable explanation for that. Okay, so we'll just need to proceed with caution, I think. We don't really want to get ambushed by more dogs. Bit of a caster here. I feel as though we're being led into a trap. Fuck. Ooh, got me. I think that little interaction there is a great example of why SL1 runs are so brilliant. It's just an incredible case of negative reinforcement for, you know, playing badly. I actually called it the intuition. I'm being led into a trap, and I absolutely was. And in a regular playthrough, being led into that trap, not a big deal. In an SL1 playthrough, when you have no health, I mean, these enemies, even though they're basic enemies of this area, do heinous amounts of damage, you know. I think that was 3 hits of a pretty simple, probably like the most simple magic spell, and I'm dead. And yeah, so I think this area, if you were taking it on super aggressively, I can see it being the hardest area so far. But, you know, if you look back at the VOD, if you look back at our playthrough of, here we go, the first stretch of this area, you know, we had a pretty decent time. Oh, jeez. Wow, I thought it got them both. Okay. you know, SL1 playthrough, you know, you really taught that taking situations like this slowly, at least cautiously. Oh, wow. Eating my own words there for sure. The ambush behind an ambush. But yeah, taking areas like that nice and slowly, you're gonna be really rewarded for it, and it's gonna be a very different experience, I think, to a regular playthrough where you can kind of just brawl through bad situations. You know, especially in this game, I'm using an unscaled weapon. It's not late game, I don't think, but you know, decently into the game, and I'm still doing a good amount of damage. I need to get used to the attack timing for that. It'd be nice to run through here without taking the Estus tax. Yeah, you have to sort of strategize how you get through stickier areas, and it's a really fun way of playing the game. So for this, I think I am going to have to fight the first guy at range, and then the second guy as well. Where am I going? This way. Yeah, fighting two dogs at once, not ideal. Oop. Great if I can get an attack out of this guy early. I think I might have put on the wrong club here. I did indeed. Whoops. But yeah, and in a regular playthrough, you're going to have, you know, these items that are scaled right up as far as mine are. But on top of that, you're going to have the stat scaling as well. So what I'm going to do here, good, and that's all she's going to write. Being unequipped here with a raw club is bad. Hello. Okay. Kind of standing in the danger zone here. So there's another caster, based on the fact that there's two casters. Oh, fifth. Come on, give me the lock on. Damn. Okay, so I can't take the... I keep taking the big club off. Can't do that. Not allowed. Looks like I'm using the real club +3 all the way here. Okay. See, these little sequences are incredibly challenging, and I think we're going to be able to get everything up until the first sorcerer. Again. I think I have to move towards that first guy. Just remember that the game isn't taxing my Estus. Nice little pick up there. Okay. Advancing on that last dog, bit of a risk. Okay, so go right to the bottom. Alright. Getting a bit lucky there. Getting one dog at a time. But it does mean that we're going to have to go through this... What? Okay, well fuck you then. Okay. It's obviously not a strategy we can consistently rely on. Yeah, this thing being stuck. He's gonna have to watch me wail on all his friends. Okay, so I'm not gonna take this club off. Okay. So that was much nicer, I think is going to be the path ahead. Of course, I suspect that, don't want to speak too soon, but this looks like it's going to be a shortcut. I guess we'll see. I'm going to risk it. Who would expect dogs inside? I think I am actually going to drop down here first. and see what this nonsense is all about. Nice, I think that's 3 now. Might be coming up behind this guy. Yeah, looks like it. Cool. Nothing like being rewarded for exploration. Like it. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, time to get the fuck out of here. Unfortunately, I could be getting herded right into a trap. So yeah, it looks like these guys can go completely invisible. Now that I've cleared that out, I wouldn't mind exploring this room a little bit. Yeah, here we go. Oh geez, that could have been death. Okay, wait, so we will heal. Grab this item. That looks like, yep, that looks like the church. I think. Ooh, Jesus. Wow, that's an intense weapon. So let me think. Risky business. Fighting him out here. Pontiff, Knight, Great Scythe. Yeah, very risky fighting him. Down here. Yeah, this is risky as well. Sorry, lad. I think this is the fog door. And what I'll do is... Yeah, okay, so as I suspected. I'm going to figure out this shortcut. Because I'm pretty sure it'll be down here. Now there are enemies here, so I'm gonna have to be careful. More than one as well. Nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to try this run back. I think we're going to be able to do it without hitting any enemies. Yeah. So we're going to go to Yorshka's bonfire, and then we'll just poke our head through the fog gate, see what we're dealing with. But that will be to be continued. Alright, here we go. Still will have to be careful with the shortcut because there are 2 of these guys here. But yeah, and then there's these guys as well actually. I do get Foggate iframes, but they can stab me. So Pontiff Sullivan. Okay. No cutscene. Wow, sent to the Shadow Realm. Might have another go of that. Might see what kind of damage we can do to him. Oh dear. Yep. Gonna have to just remember this run back properly. So this is the first boss who I think will consistently one-shot us. So I have to be careful here. Alright. Let's see if we can get close without dying. Come on. Okay, so not total one shot, but also not pretty scary. He doesn't seem to want to really chain attacks. He had that little jab when I was directly in front of him, which pretty mean, but that's pretty standard for bosses. He did break my lock-on, which is a bit frustrating. That seems to happen a bit more in this game than in the other titles. Okay, so we'll dodge here. Okay. Cool. So I don't know about circle strafing this guy, but I think that dodging is going to be the play. I got punished there because of attacks, not the dodges themselves. So I'm just going to have to find the correct timings. And also see how many times I can attack, because some of his attacks seem to have long cooldowns. I might be able to get 2 R1s. Wasn't an abysmal amount of damage, but ideally it'd be a bit more, I think. Okay. Didn't actually realize he was facing towards me. This will be a really interesting fight, I think, because I feel as though his moveset isn't going to be as difficult as Abyss Watcher, but his health bar is huge, and the DPS is going to be big as well. Run back's nice and short, plenty of game time with the boss. Damn. I was confused as to whether or not I should heal or not. Answer is no. But he looks like he's going to have a few attacks where I can double R1 him. And I actually do think that circle strafing is going to be a bit OP against this guy as well, a bit powerful. He does have a lot of sweeps, which makes that dangerous. So I think I'm going to continue dodging for the most part, but as we get deeper into learning this fight, I think I will start investigating, you know, these little nuances. Which direction should I dodge? Which direction should I strafe? Which attack should I strafe? Damn. Oops. Too late. Bears is definitely the first boss that we fought with what I think is a proper health bar, which is a bit intimidating, but yeah, it is what it is. The other thing I'll need to experiment with is distance. It feels like this guy can close the gap. The question is, which attacks does he close the gap with? If they are very easy to dodge attacks, then circle strafing from a distance is the play. Okay. You're just getting a bad rhythm there, and also attacking punishing his first attack, which I don't think I can do. He definitely seems like a boss where, if I'm playing cautiously, I will not be able to punish every attack. Which is fine, because the more you attack, the more stamina you use. And I can see that being a problem in this fight, where he just has a crazy moveset. You know, with a lot of different attacks, and quite a few chain attacks as well. Okay. So he has a big wind-up attack that I'll need to be careful of. And also his big thrust is a lock-on breaker. Really shouldn't be getting carried away with this. Some of these moves are making me think that keeping a medium distance and sprinting is actually going to be quite good. Yes, that's going to be one to really look for. Very fanciful moveset. Yeah, I think this guy is possible. I don't think his moveset is as hard as Abyss Watcher's. The second phase of Abyss Watcher. No AoE, I think, makes quite a big difference. That was just an extra element to watch out for there. But yeah, I think what will happen is I'm not going to be able to figure out every single one of his moves, but he's got a few key moves. Wow, okay, so not a dent there. Bit unfortunate. I think the archer was still a bit slow. But yeah, I'm not really expecting to get this boss in like quickly. I think it's going to be a case of having to master the fight, and we'll figure out exactly the timings of, you know, each attack. You know, where can I do 2R1s, or if I have time for an R2. Can you check the curry, please? It should be, but if you could maybe like turn it down and... Okay. Soon, yes. So not quite used to that jab, especially when I'm right in front of him. He does move quite quickly, but for some reason the depth perception isn't there. You know, I can't actually judge distance, it would seem. So I'm thinking that making sure I stay either very far away from him or actually quite close is going to be nice. And also sprinting after the dodges, because he is moving, you know, a good distance away from me after some of his attacks, which is frustrating because I can't punish all of them. But if I can dodge in the right direction and either move or sprint into position, I will be able to start punishing them. Getting caught in that, pretty hectic, but I think we're starting to see that you don't actually need to dodge all of his attacks. If you dodge one, you can circle strafe quite easily, or just follow behind him on the other. I do just need to be careful of that big chain. He does occasionally do that, where he'll just keep throwing attacks at you, and But I would say this tops Abyss Watchers in terms of enjoyment. I think it's not going to be hard to beat a gang squad, especially at SL1. SL1 gang squads are just exercises in incredible caution. Okay. Just having to go there at circle strafing. I don't think it's going to be the answer. I don't think it's going to be the answer until he actually does his attack. He does have quite a bit of tracking on his initial attack, but seems as though he's not as great with his follow-ups. So if you can get into a good position after the first attack, he kind of just keeps winding up and attacking, but his tracking is sort of stopped and he's caught in his chain. You don't want to be too far away from him there, because staggering him there, of all places, is probably the worst. I'm against my better judgment, I'm going to back away from him. I think the key now is going to be to get used to the big chain. Because if I can recognize that and be behind him when he starts, or get behind him when he starts, and then just sort of linger at the outskirts of the damage, the sort of damaged circumference, I should be fine in this fight. I just need to start picking up what starts it. It's hard to tell because his swords are weird aesthetically. But that felt good. That was the best attempt, but it also felt like an attempt where I was making quite a few decisions that were learned. Okay. Still not great timing with that, but he does make a grunt when he does it, which is the cue. I think I am getting lucky sometimes when I dodge that attack. Because if I dodge too early, I still do have time for a second one. But if I just instinctively... I don't know if he starts grunting when he begins that attack, or after he starts the wind-up, because it's going to be really difficult to tell the difference between attacks in this fight, I think. Damn. That was nice though. I think the other thing I'm learning is that there is... he's not actually protecting himself when he disengages. And he is staggering too, which is nice. It will get to a point where I start resoning up for this fight, but not just yet. I think once I start consistently getting him to half health, I'll know that I've learnt the fight, and I'll start doing that. Because even though I have a shit ton of charcoal pine resin, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. Especially if you start using it a bit too early in a boss fight. I hate where this fight has taken us. Like, this little spot here is annoying. You know, I've got to have space to fight this guy. Damn. Attack's hard to see when I'm so close to him. But we'll get that. We'll start learning it. Normally with those big wind-up overhead attacks, you do have quite a bit of opportunity to run and circle strafe. Kinda want to try that here, but I think we already have, and it failed. Because he does really move, like, he moves quick, even when he's winding up his attacks. He does turn on a dime, this guy. Damn. I just got caught up there in a couple of attacks. I think one thing that's happening there actually is I'm getting hit, and if I'm kind of behind him when he's being hit, these enemies, it's hard to control which direction they'll start swinging, and if you accidentally move in the opposite direction, you'll get punished heavily for it. That was actually a really big feature in the mini-boss of this area. Damn. Yeah, taking the early hit and just being a little bit greedy with the heal there. Not quite enough distance to do it reliably. But yeah, he's not one-shotting us, which is I'm very grateful for. If that were the case, this would be quite extremely difficult. Silly enemy. Great arena. It reminds me a lot of SL1's arena. Very highly polished floor. Thought he was going for his overhead swing there, and I thought I had time to stop and heal, and I'm about to do so, but no. So far my positioning has been quite aggressive, in that I am keeping as close to him as possible, which means that I am getting hit a bit, and because I don't know the fight at a medium distance, I'm not able to effectively heal either. So kind of lucky not to get caught in that. It was just far enough to his side that it didn't. Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with sprinting away and looking for a heal opportunity. But I think that's going to be better. But it is also going to take a little bit of getting used to. Just a little bit of patience. If I have to prioritize getting out of the way even more, then I should do that instead of healing. The other alternative at this stage is to keep my positioning aggressive. Sort of copying on the chin the fact that these are likely going to be failed attempts because of that, but the fight is going to be fought at close range here. He has quite a big health pool, and I really don't want to... That was a combo as well. He did make a grunt. Yeah, a bit frustrating there. I feel as though he had a couple of attacks, like quite a few attacks there that really wasn't able to interact with as well. He was a lot less chill there. But we're going to have to get used to that. This is going to be a long fight, the successful run, and there's going to be a couple of opportunities for him to have really nasty chain attacks in those fights. So it's just going to be a matter of managing those. Once we start really mastering being close to him, we will start looking at appropriately being able to disengage from some attacks. That obviously was his combo, and yeah, we were able to recognize it, and we kind of got away from there, but Yeah, not perfect. If I can avoid taking a hit at all, getting out of the combo, even when I'm close to him, that's going to be pretty platinum, I reckon. That's going to be really good, because that's the main thing that's killing me here. That and the overhead slam um, have been pretty consistently what I'm dying to. So yeah, feel good about this fight. I think that some of his not so major attacks I can heal through, which is good, and a lot of it I'm pretty comfortable dodging. Very greedy heal there, but go. Okay. Felt like a better fight than the health bar suggests. I do think that there are, as I get used to it, going to be a lot of opportunities to double R1, which will accelerate this fight. I think in our most successful fight, that was the case. Okay. Bit unfortunate there. Getting a little bit overconfident with just stepping out of the way. So we'll re-rack, have another go. Okay, yeah. Got smacked by his big overhead swing. The natural tendency is to dodge that, but it's just so nasty. I think it's going to be a case, realistically, of copping the first dodge early, but just understanding the timing of when the second dodge needs to be. Because I think if you do two dodges, you will get killed. Two successive dodges. So it needs to be dodge, then a pause, and then another dodge. Ideally, we notice the attack and can avoid it altogether by dodging at the appropriate timing. But that kind of thing is going to be pretty hard to do, especially if it's a one-shot and these fights aren't lasting long to begin with. I think if I'm behind him, dodging that second attack isn't actually necessary. Damn. I don't think I can punish his thrust. I think I should stop doing that. One thing I will try and consciously do though is if I dodge behind him on his first swipe, his first red sword swipe, just attempt to move into him as I'm behind him, move to his back, because I think I can do that and not get hit by the second swipe pretty easily, and there might even be 2 hits in it for me. So we are going to try and consciously do that, but in such a sort of complex fight, we can get lost in it a little bit. So we'll just have a go at it. We'll just see if we can remember. Yeah, there we go. And then I think 2 attacks is going to be possible. Ah, that damn attack. It's really hard to distinguish between it and a regular swipe, but what we'll do is we'll practice double punishing his 2 swipe combo. Once we can kind of master that little movement and get it consistently, we will start. I mean, doing that is going to get us to recognize the swipe move quite well. And once we can do that, we'll focus on distinguishing between it and the overhead swing. I think that we'll also be able to learn that as we go. It'll be simultaneously be able to do both of those things, I think. Ooh. He got me. That was a unique animation. I feel as though I have been killed by that attack before. Yeah. Bit strange there. I think I got caught by his first one. Maybe a bit out of position, too far to his left. Just hesitated a bit. You see, that's a... Yeah, I had a feeling I would get punished there. Punishing a thrust is a no-no, that's what that was. He has a much too quick follow-up to it. But yeah, as we saw there, punishing with the double R1, the second swing, is really quite nice, if we're behind him. What I'll start doing once I start getting to the point where I can recognize his big overhead swing, I'll start calling it on stream. As soon as he starts the wind up, as soon as I recognize it, I'll just call it. I found that was really helpful with Manus when I was doing it soul level 1. Because he obviously has his big... See, I can't punish that. Okay, so I don't think that punish is going to be a double R1 anymore. That's... we got punished for doing the second R1 both times. Okay, so he does a bit of a, that was deeply regrettable. It looks like there's a phase 2, and it just killed me. um, so he looks like he does a big, quick flourish before his overhead swing. So I think we've got most of the moves down now. We haven't seen a combo in a little while, which I'm a bit concerned about, and you know, we could still die here and there, but the rules are so far, don't punish any blue attacks, any at all. You can punish the big overhead swing twice. You can punish the double red sword swing once. Twice if you're feeling like copping a hit. Or if we can do it fast enough, actually. Oh shit. Arena almost killing me there. Yeah, so there's the big combo. Didn't pick it up that time. It felt like he did a bit of a flourish as well. Yeah. But we won't worry about the big combo now. He doesn't do it a lot. You know, speaking too soon there. But he doesn't seem to do it a lot, so we won't worry about that too much. What we're going to worry about is following our 2 rules so far and trying to pick up the flourish I noticed on his overhead swing. Problem is, from what I've seen so far, the initiation of the overhead swing and the combo look really similar. Okay. It's getting a bit tilted there by the hit, especially on the attack that we really want to be punishing. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. I'm keen to see his moveset in the second phase. I'm wondering what we'll have to deal with. Sometimes second phase dual fights are not too bad. He looked like he grew wings. I'm thinking Sir Alone. Sir Alone is easier in his second phase, in my opinion. Because he seems to want to do a lot of his jumping attacks, for example, in that fight. And if you know how to avoid them, they're kind of useless. But he could also be much harder in his second phase. The other rule is to do those kind of punishes. Okay, yeah. So that was me trying to, you know, that was tantamount to doing a double R1, so not good. But yeah, twice they're getting killed by that same attack. But that's okay, I think we're pretty comfortable with that attack. Might just be getting caught out of position there. So we'll explore that. I think he's initiating it when I'm just at the wrong distance from him. Yeah, fun fight. and a fun fight to figure out. I think that if we can nail down all these rules, it'll be a solved fight, and we should be able to consistently get to phase 2. But there's a bit more to discover. Yeah, gotta make sure I don't get clipped. Not dodging there was a bit risky. Yeah, a bit tilted there. I thought that I could go in for another hit, but yeah, a bit annoying. I think that didn't need to happen. Yeah, the stagger break there is the stagger there is honestly more beneficial to him than it is to me. Haven't been hit through that fog wall yet, but you know. That's me breaking a rule there. Don't punish blue sword attacks. Kind of look like a bit of a big combo. Damn. Yeah, got clipped by his combo there, that's not good. That's alright though. I think the combo, you probably can actually roll through each of them. But I'd rather just be out of there, honestly. The trick I think with the combo is going to be being able to recognize it and making sure I'm behind him for the start of it, and then running away. That was actually happening at the start of this fight, almost accidentally. It's ironic when that happens, you know, you learn part of a fight, so you sort of new to a fight, and you accidentally are just in the right position naturally to avoid certain attacks. But then you start learning the other moves, and you're pulled in out of position, and you start really feeling the sting of some of those attacks. Damn. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I was about to call that. That's his first attack that he does. Kind of thinking that... Yeah. I don't know. This will be a long fight. It'll just be a matter of playing around, whether I try and pull him back into the middle, or if I just go with the flow. Going with the flow is usually the safest thing, but you can end up being killed by the environment. Learning how to pull him back into position is going to be the more dangerous strategy, but learning it is going to pay dividends in the long run, because you're going to be fighting him in the ideal location. That seemed like part of the combo. Damn. Yeah, I do know that he follows up his big thrust with a second attack. It's just a case of, you know, me not used to having to heal. The healing is always interesting in boss fights because usually you can use your you can't really use your attack timings to do it because healing I think takes a little bit longer. But yeah, so it's almost like a different strategy you have to use to get the heal. Yeah, feeling good about this fight so far. Following my rules, we've seen the big overhead swing a couple of times, still haven't. Okay, so note to self, don't actually punish the stagger. He just moves too far away, and by the time I get there, he's ready to punish. He's ready to do a swipe. Yeah, so it's just not worth it. I think what I found was that, you know, when he goes into the defensive stance, that's a perfect time to punish. It's a really good time to punish. You don't need to punish the stagger. He's going to do that defensive stance far more often, and it's going to be free hits. So the stagger just isn't a free hit in this fight. So that's another rule. So the rules are: don't punish blue attacks. After his first red swipe, circle strafe, punish with 1R1 the second red swipe, and you'll likely have to get out of that. And rule number 3, rule number 3, punish the defensive stance. Rule number 4, don't punish the stagger. And also double, if you can, double R1 the overhead swing, if you can recognize it. Whoops. I'm not used to dodging his big thrust whilst being so far away. I really do think that I should be closing the gap when I can. So I guess those two things kind of contradict each other. You know, if I am closing the gap and he does actually do his big thrust, I have to be ready for his follow-up swipe. I mean, sometimes he doesn't do it, but if you're close enough, he seems to. I think I am starting to delay my second roll on his overhead swing, but I'm still not noticing the lead up. Noticing that will be pretty good. That was a really unfortunate first attack sequence. It still is quite unfortunate. Yeah. Getting that massive first attack sequence isn't nice. It really makes the fight longer. And it's a bit tilting, not doing damage for so long. But that's okay. I feel as though that was, you know, it was pretty decent actually. Lasted a decent amount of time. And once again killed by the follow-up to the thrust. So, I think that'll just have to be something that we start consciously working on now. Not punishing. We did follow a rule there, punish the first red attack. We are reacting now to the follow-up. Oops, shit. Okay. So he's cloned himself. Well, that's gonna be interesting. So I think the first step, once we get to that second phase again, is going to be to determine if they share a health pool. I will be a bit concerned if they don't. The second step is how to split them up. They seemed to stay super close to each other. that was me breaking a rule there, getting a bit tilted by it. Punished a blue attack. I'm certainly hoping he doesn't have the same moveset in that phase, because if he does, that's going to be really difficult to just not get hit during. I also think that I need to take the opportunity to do as much damage as I can after his initial transformation. Anything to shorten the gank fight is going to be good. Not happy that they made this a gank fight, but is what it is. Sent straight back to the Shadow Realm with his big combo, which I still haven't learned yet, which is, you know, is going to make getting to that second phase tough. I actually thought he was going for an overhead swing there. What have I done? What have I done? Wrong way. What? Okay. Yeah, clipping me is not nice. All sorts of weird noises. Damn. I think that I probably won't punish that that big spin attack when he does it, because I think that because he kind of leaps away from you, you're inevitably going to be in front of him, and you're going to be punishing him when he's in front of you, and I think that it's just too easy for him to just hit you. So I think I'm going to not do that. Yeah, knowing second phase as a gang squad is putting me on tilt a little bit, which isn't great, but I think that I just need to knuckle down, focus on mastering this first phase, and we'll get there. But yeah, this first phase is long, so especially if he decides to be funky with me. That was annoying, and once again, it's hard to tell which direction he's facing. I didn't anticipate actually getting jabbed there. I don't really know how this stream progresses tonight. I think that I do want to have a really good go, get to a second phase, and just learn something about it. I'll probably back the hell away and see how they behave. If they kind of split up, I will have the opportunity to dance between them. Very similar to the Pharaon first phase. So I did break a rule there and punish the spin attack. So I'm not going to punish that. Greedy heal there. That's strange. Okay, so it looks like I've learned something. I think his shade. That was cool. Wow. It looks like his shade has its separate, a separate health pool, and it's quite small. So I'm still not confident as to how to proceed. But that is insane. That's nuts. But okay, alright, so I think I'm going to call it there, but we have learned something. We've learned that the shade has a separate health pool, and it didn't look like he had much health. So that's good. Question number 2 is, can he revitalize his shade? Kind of a sub-question, nothing I'm really super concerned about, but he went to phase 2 very quickly there. Why? So that's something we're going to have to figure out next time, be tomorrow night. That was a great stream, managed to push on through Irythill, found the boss. I think that I've got a pretty firm grasp on, I want to say 80% of the first phase, and like really strong grasp on it. I think I'm going to be able to get to the second phase most of the time, but we will still work on figuring out that big sort of flurry combo attack, and we will try and work out his overhead swing, and but I think we have some really good rules to go by, and we did learn in the second phase his shade has a small health bar. I probably will resin up and just wail on them as soon as they come up and try and get it down to say 1 hit, and then just try and figure out a way to get a couple more hits in on the shade, even if I have to tank something. I think that's going to be the strat, and then try and get him back down to his first one. Yeah, we'll have to figure out if he can reshade, but not my concern yet. You know, we'll solve one problem as it comes. But yeah, this is a really great example of why I wanted to try and do Dark Souls 3 Soul Level 1 as a first playthrough, even though that sounds crazy. I really think that you're going to get rewarded for playing badly in a regular playthrough. You know, if I had a health bar 3-4 times bigger than now, if I had some crazy weapon, you know, +5 weapon with big scaling, heaps of endurance, heaps of physical defense, I'm going to be able to face tank through most of that. I'm going to be able to melt his health bar. And I'm not going to be rewarded, well, I'm not going to be encouraged, rather, to figure out the fight. There's really nothing stopping me just taking hits and kind of learning an easier version of the fight, where I can take most of the hits and I only have to dodge a few of them. Yeah. So I think, yeah, next time, come back, keep learning the first phase, try out some strats for the second phase, and I think we'll probably start resining as well. Probably not for the first phase, I don't think it's necessary, but for the second phase, in gank, in a multi-fight, DPS is going to be really important, whittling down that shade quickly, is going to be really important, and if I can get something that'll boost physical attack, that's going to be premium. Yeah, and that's going to come in really handy too, because that first flurry of attacks I get, you know, that'll help. Alright, well, time to call the stream there. That was a lot of fun. Probably my favourite stream yet. And if you're watching the VOD, catch you next time.